Shalom. We'll get started here in just a few moments. All right. Hey, Shalom. First and foremost, I want to give all praises, honor, and glory unto Yahweh, by Hashem Yahushua, by Hashem HaKodash. That's all praise to the Heavenly Father. His true name in the Hebrew is Yahweh. In his son's name, who the word enemy called Jesus Christ, real name in the Hebrew is Yahushua. Also give praises, honor, and glory unto the Yahweh HaKodash, the Holy Spirit, which is the force and entity that makes this edification possible. I want to say shalom to all you sincere-hearted Akim wa Akwat, that's you brothers and few sincere sisters make your bodies a living sacrifice on a daily basis in this wicked and adulterous generation. I also want to give double honors unto my beloved apostles and elders of Great Millstone, who taught me this truth and who rule well. And I'm the brother Osman here from the Great Millstone Dallas camp. All right, coming back this morning through the spirit and power of Yahweh Bashmal Shah to do another lesson. And Lord willing, this will be edifying, comforting, and exhorting unto the sincere sheep of Yahweh Bashmal Shah. And shalom to you, Akim Walk tuning in this morning. And Yahweh Bashmal Shah Barakatham, Wa Barakar Tawab. And shalom, brother Bernard. Yeah, and I'm just a brother, by the way. You know, I far from an elder, man. I'm just a baby in this truth, man. You know. So yeah, just want to clarify that. But nonetheless, let's go ahead and we're gonna complete the book of Psalms, the 106th chapter this morning. All right, let me turn to it real quick. All right, we're gonna hit verses 40 through 48. And as you can see, the title says, "Save us and gather us from among the heathen." Okay, save us and gather us from among the heathen, and that comes from the 47th verse in this chapter. And that us, okay, is the nation of Israel. Okay, that's who the Lord is going to come and save and gather from among the heathen, starting with the elect of the nation of Israel, the first fruits. That's who salvation is for. Okay, this first go round. All right, so give me 1 second. All right, so yeah, and for you Akim tuning in, hey, as always, you know, feel free, you know, to put up, you know, scriptures that's, you know, relevant, you know, to the topic, and yeah, that'd be greatly appreciated. All right, so yeah, let's go ahead and get back into it. We left off at verse 39 yesterday, and basically, you know, yesterday was going into, you know, how Israel, okay, was mingled amongst the heathen, learned their works, you know, and became a degenerate plant, became a degenerate vine unto Yahweh Bashmal Shah. And that's always been the case for the sons of God, you know, going all the way back to the beginning. Okay, the sons of God, you read that, you know, during the time of Genesis 5 and 6, you know. And the Lord, although Jacob was going off, the Lord always preserved a remnant, okay, that's going to stand stiffly, okay, for that, for the Lord's ways. As a matter of fact, let me open up with this. Since we said that, let me open up with this in the book of Sirach. Let's see. Yep, here we go. Sirach chapter 47. Sirach 47 and verse 22. Because the same thing are happening in these times. You know, although we have the masses of our people, okay, these Israelites, sons of God, okay, going off, just as it was in the days of Noah, the Lord has, you know, given grace unto a remnant. He's given grace unto the elect, okay, to pretty much get their housing in order, you know, get their housing in orders before, you know, judgment comes. So this is the book of Sirach, chapter 47 and verse 22. It says, "But the Lord will never leave off his mercy, neither shall any of his works perish, neither will he abolish the posterity, meaning the descendancy of his elect. And the seed of him that loveth him, he will not take away. Right? And who's that seed that loves the Lord? Let's grab this in Psalms, the 22nd chapter. Okay, that chosen generation. Okay, the elect of the nation of Israel. This is Genesis. It's like it. Psalms. I got Genesis on my mind this morning. You know, Psalms 22 and verse 30. It says, a seed shall serve him. It shall be accounted to the Lord for a generation. Woo! See? Let's read that again. It says, a seed shall serve him. And who's that seed that's serving? Okay, Yahweh Bashmal Shah in spirit and truth. Okay, that's the seed of Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob. The ones that's a part of the elect, man. The first fruits. It says, it shall be accounted to the Lord for a generation, you see? And that's the generation of the Lord's mercy. Because you have the generation of the Lord's wrath. Okay, that's you can read about that in Jeremiah the 7th chapter. Okay, that's the 2/3, and you have the generation of the Lord's mercy. So this is that generation, okay, that's serving the Lord. Verse 31, they shall come and shall declare his righteousness unto a people that shall be born, that he have done this. That's right, man. And that's what the Lord has risen up. He's risen up that seed that love him, and now they're declaring his righteousness in the form of singing his new song. So let's go back here to Psalm Sirach 47 and verse 22. It says, but the Lord will never leave off his mercy, neither shall any of his works perish. Neither will he abolish the posterity of his elect. And the seed of him that loveth him, he will not take away. Wherefore, he gave a remnant. See, he gave a remnant unto Jacob, and out of him a root unto David. And who's that root of David? Yahweh Shai. And that's who is coming to gather the elect. That root of David. He's coming to gather that seed that's serving him. All right. He's going to pluck us up from among the heathen. Just like he scattered us among the heathen. Well, now we're in the times to where he's going to gather us and pluck us up from them, man. Okay. So with that being said, now let's get into the book of Psalms, the 106th chapter. We're going to try to complete it this morning. Lord willing, you sincere Aki and Walk will be edified. So this is Psalms chapter 106. And let's start at verse 39 for the context. It says, thus they were defiled with their own works and went a-whoring with their own inventions. Yeah, how do we do that? By shedding innocent blood, following the ways of the Canaanites, which, the ways of the Canaanites is all back today. Esau has made diligent, study, of these ancient Phoenicians and their gods. The beloved Odi Ashwamba just did a beautiful lesson a few days ago. He uploaded on Remnant Saved 144 Ba, and it was entitled The Left Hand Priesthood. And when you watch it, man, it's a very heavy video, but he was going into how all the gods and the practices that came along with those gods that these Hamites, especially these Canaanites, were called into. Esau absorbed all that into this kingdom, man, into this wicked satanic kingdom. So all these practices are back. They're just in different forms and different ways. Esau puts it in different sectors of life. The music industry, the entertainment industry, the food, everything, man. Religion, of course, religion. These double P buildings in Jake's neighborhoods, man. All these things are back. So the same things that was, a thorn and a snare to the sons of God back then is being a snare into Jake right now in these times. But the Lord left a remnant. So Psalms 106 and verse 39, thus they were defiled with their own works and went a-whoring with their own inventions. Therefore was the wrath of the Lord Yahweh by Shema Shai kindled against his people, insomuch that he abhorred his own inheritance, man. Yeah. And that's when those curses started to kick our ass, man. Here we are in Babylon the Great, scattered, man. Okay, the Lord took his name off of us for a while. What was that? Jeremiah the 3rd chapter. He divorced us. He kicked us out the land. Let's see if I can get that real quick. Jeremiah, because we played the harlot. Jeremiah 3:1. They say, if a man put away his wife, and she go from him, and becometh another man's, shall he return unto her again? Shall not that land be greatly polluted? Yeah, because that'll be a disgusting thing, man. Okay, here you got a woman, and she plays a harlot. You know, now she got your seed inside of her. She got another man's seed inside of her. Now the land is polluted. You see, now that woman is polluted, man. So no, you don't go back to that. You see, it says, but thou hast played the harlot with many lovers. And who are those lovers that we played the harlot with spiritually? Okay, with these other gods. Wisdom of Solomon 14 chapter says, let me grab this real quick. Wisdom of Solomon 14 and 12. For the devising of idols was the beginning of spiritual fornication, see, or spiritual adultery, and the invention of them the corruption of life. You see, so that's how, okay, we played the harlot. That's how we were known as adulterers and adulteresses as a nation of Israel, man. You know, jumping from God to God, just like these women jump from rod to rod. Okay, with Israel, we was jumping from God to God, man. So the Lord put us away. He kicked us out the land. He changed the lock. All right. He blocked our number. He wasn't hearing our prayers no more, you know. And he just scattered us, allowed us to be beat, you know, by enemies, man. So this is why, you know, as we come back unto him, we got to come correct. The only thing he wants to hear out of our mouths is I'm sorry, you know, Salakia, you know. Got to come back with repentance, man, with a broken heart, a contrite spirit. It says, going back to Jeremiah 3 in the middle part, verse 1, but thou hast played the harlot with many lovers, yet return again to me, saith the Lord, Yahweh Bashim Shah. And the only way we can return is by that perfect sacrifice, which is Yahweh Shah. You see, he's the mediator, okay, that's giving us access back into the Most High through his blood. That's what the whole book of Romans, the 5th chapter, is going into. All right, so let's go back here to Psalms 106 and verse 41. It says, and he gave them into the hand of the heathen, and they that hated them ruled over them. Their enemies also oppressed them, and they were brought into subjection under their hand. Yeah, that's why we're in the situation we're in today. You know, because of our trespasses, because of our harlotries. You know, and even in these times, a lot of us was caught up in Christianity. That was us playing the harlot against the Lord. You see, that was us being adulterers against the Lord, man. Caught up in Islam, you know, just worshiping the beast and his system, man. Let's grab this Baruch 4 and 6. It says, you were sold to the nations, not for your destruction. So the Lord, he didn't do this, okay, to destroy us completely. You know, he did this to chasten us, you see, to teach us a lesson. It says, but because you moved the Most High to wrath, you were delivered unto the enemies. Verse 7, for you provoked him that made you by sacrificing unto devils and not to the Most High. Yeah, in the ancient world, we would have our seed to pass through, okay, the fires unto Molech in the valley of Hinnom. You see, and Jake is doing the same thing today in these times in the form of, these double P buildings, as we stated earlier. Oh, and even if you get your child christened, you know, at the church, you know, I know like a lot of newborns, you know, they'll go to the altar in these damn Christian churches, man. They'll get christened. Well, you're sacrificing your son and daughter unto devils, man. You see, our children, they're supposed to be sanctified unto Yahweh Bashim Shah, you know. So it's because of these particular practices the Lord, you know, allowed us, or he caused us to be put into subjection, you know, by the hand of our enemies, chiefly Esau, Edom. So it says, verse 7, Baruch 4 and 7, for you provoked him that made you by sacrificing unto devils and not to the Most High. You have forgotten the everlasting power that brought you up, and have grieved Jerusalem that nursed you. And the land spewed us out, you know, by doing those odious works of witchcraft, man, you know, and abominations. The land spewed us out. You read Leviticus 18 and 19, and the land was, let's grab that real quick. The Lord told us don't do these things so the land doesn't spew us out. And that's why he spewed out the Canaanites. You see, and that's why he told us don't do what they're doing. You know, because of what they're doing, that's why I'm allowing you, okay, to slaughter them and kick them out. You know, but the Lord also left a little remnant of the Canaanites in that land to test us, to see what we will do. You know, and we failed. We failed the test. Leviticus 18. Let me see if I can find it. Yep. Yep, here we go. Leviticus 18 and yep, in verse 25 it says, let's start at verse, really this whole chapter is going to particular, commandments and ordinances that, we're not supposed to do. When you go into these ordinances, they were written because that's what these other nations was doing, chiefly the Canaanites. Leviticus 18, I'm gonna start at verse 24. The point is in verse 27 or 28. It says, verse 23, so like in verse 24, defile not ye yourselves in any of these things, for in all these the nations are defiled, which I cast out before you. And the land is defiled, therefore I do visit the iniquity thereupon upon it. And the land itself vomiteth out her inhabitants, you see? So the land will, vomit you out, before you defile it to its utmost degree. You see, and the Lord is the one who set that standard, man. All right? And that's why, what is that? I believe that's 2 Ezra, the 7th chapter, says that he has given us straight commandment, But it's because of this flesh. It's because of these bodies, man. We went off. And that's why we're going to possess the kingdom forever, okay? Once the kingdom is brought here upon earth, by Yahweh Shah, because we're going to have, those glorified bodies. It's going to be impossible for us to go off. It's going to be impossible for us, to play the harlot again, to get caught up into idolatry, to just go against the Lord. So verse 26, he says, you shall therefore keep my statutes and my judgments, and shall not commit any of these abominations, neither any of your own nation, nor any stranger that sojourneth among you. For all these abominations have the men of the land done. And those men of the men of the land is speaking about, is talking about the Canaanites, which were before you, and the land is defiled, that the land spew not you out also when you defile it, as it spewed out the nations that were before you. For whosoever shall commit any of these abominations, even the souls that commit them shall be cut off from among their people. You see? Now let me read verse 30. Therefore shall you keep my ordinance, that you commit not any one of these abominable customs, which were committed before you, and that you defile not yourselves therein. I am Yahweh, your power. That's right, man. And who's in the land right now? Okay, these small headers. All right, and they're literally doing all the things that the ancient Canaanites was doing, and that's why the Lord's about to spew them out and put us back in it, man. You see, those small headers, man. Hey, you read the Talmud, okay? You read the Talmud and you look at some of the practices that that the Talmud calls for. Okay, well, those are literally the same practices, man. Okay, that the Canaanites was doing. You see, that baby oral circumcision. When after they circumcise a newborn baby boy, okay, after 8 days, I believe it's called the bar mitzvah. Well, well, you have one of the rabbis suck the the little baby, whatchamacallit, try not to be too graphic, but I mean that's what they do, and that's what the Canaanites was doing, man. Wisdom of Solomon, the 12th chapter, speaks about how they were they were drinkers of blood. They love blood. They love to drink blood, man. You see, and that's abominable, and all that's happening right now in our land. So yeah, man, and Yahweh Shai, he's gonna come back and he's gonna uproot those bastards out of our land. You see, those missiles gonna come, okay, and pelt that place as well, and he's gonna cleanse it. You see, so going back here to Psalms 106. Psalms 106 and verse 41. And he gave them into the hand of the heathen, and they that hated them ruled over them. Their enemies also oppressed them, and they were brought into subjection under their hand. Many times did he deliver them, but they provoked him with their counsel, and were brought low for their iniquity. Yeah, man. Many times, did the Lord deliver us, into captivity, into another captivity, into another captivity. And you read the book of Judges, it's pretty much giving you that repetitive cycle that we went through. We were captives of the Moabites and the Ammonites, the Philistines, all these particular nations, man. And it just kind of gave you a precursor or a glimpse into, you know, what will happen later on down the line, you know, as we progress as a nation, you know. Let me grab this real quick in Judges 2. This is Judges chapter 2. As a matter of fact, let me grab it here in the NLT. Yeah, I can't wait, man, until we're released from these bodies of sin, these bodies of death, you know. And that's why Paul said in Romans the 7th chapter, he says, "O wretched man that I am, who shall deliver me from this body of death?" You know, because that's all that the flesh, you know, brings forth is just death and rebellion. You know, he also said the things I don't want to do, those are the things I do, and the things I do want to do, those are the things I don't do. You know, who shall deliver me from this body of death, man? And that's ultimately the reason why, okay, we you know, we've been going through this hellacious cycle of captivity and just, you know, being in the crosshairs of the Most High. You know, so we're hoping upon that better way, man. Yahweh Shah to change us. But it's just all a part of the Lord's movie. This is how he set it up. You know? And these other nations, man, they're going to have to, these curses that we've been put under, they're about to be put under, you know? Deuteronomy 30 and 7. But let me grab this here in Judges 2. Let's see. Judges 2 and we'll start at verse 16. Let's get in NLT. Judges 2 and 16. It says, "Then the Lord Yahweh raised up judges to rescue the Israelites from their attackers." You know, you can read, you know, the book of Judges, read about those different, you know, judges he raised up. You know, Gideon, you know, who's that, Jotham, who's some more, starts with an O, comes, Othniel, you know, of course, Samuel, and all these particular judges the Lord raised up, you know, to deliver us, you know, from the hand of our enemies. Verse 17, "Yet Israel did not listen to the judges, but prostituted themselves by worshiping other gods. How quickly they turned away from the path of their ancestors who had walked in obedience to the Lord's commands. Whenever the Lord Yahweh raised up a judge over Israel, he was with that judge and rescued the people from their enemies throughout the judge's lifetime. For the Lord took pity on his people who were burdened by oppression and suffering. But when the judge died, the people returned to their corrupt ways, behaving worse than those who had lived before them." So we've always been in this constant state of degradation, just getting worse. This is why we're known as backsliding children. It says they went after other gods, serving and worshiping them, and they refused to give up their evil practices and stubborn ways. So the Lord burned with anger against Israel. He said, "Because these people have violated my covenant, which I made with their ancestors, and have ignored my commands, I will no longer drive out the nations that Joshua left unconquered when he died." Yeah, because although Joshua brought us into the land, you know, there was still, residue of the heathen that was left over. You know, residue of those Canaanites that was left over that we didn't expel out. You know, I know, you know, pretty much in all the lands, in all the tribes, provinces, you know, Benjamin, you know, left some Jebusites there, you know. Manasseh, they left Canaanites there, but the Lord did that for a reason. Let's continue to read Judges 2 and 22 in the NLT. He says, "I did this to test Israel, to see whether or not they will follow the ways of the Lord as their ancestors did. That is why the Lord Yahweh left those nations in place. He did not quickly drive them out, because he could have easily did so if he wanted to. You know, he could have, you know, easily just, you know, put the spirit upon us to expel, you know, all those, you know, Canaanites like he commanded us to. But he didn't do so, because he wanted to test us. He wanted to see if we were going to be obedient unto his ways. Just like now, we're over here scattered amongst the heathen, you know, And we're surrounded by, all this idolatry, surrounded by the ways of Esau. But the Lord is testing us every day to see what we're going to do. Verse 23, that is why the Lord left those nations in place. He did not quickly drive them out or allow Joshua to conquer them all. Yeah. And they became to be, thorns on our sides, man. They vexed us because we got caught up in that snare of their gods. We got tired of worshiping the Lord. We looked at it as it being born out of fashion, See, worshiping those other gods, it catered to the flesh. That's why Jake did it. Because it actually did bring, pseudo benefits. You would get, the wealth. You will get the riches. You'll get, whatever you want. But of course, it comes with a price. You have to degrade yourself. And you have to be disconnected from your power, man. And that's what Esau's tempting, Jake with today in these times, that micro C-hip, Yeah, you may be able to eat, your last, 1 or 2 meals after you get it, but you gotta be totally disconnected. You gotta disconnect yourself from Yahweh Shemal Shah. And then you mark yourself as an enemy for the Lord, man. So yeah. So that RFID, that RFID C-hip, man, that's going to be, the ultimate, stamp of whose side you on, what God you serve, man. Either Yahweh Shemal Shah or Esau, these other guys, man. So let me go back here to Psalms 106. Psalms 106 and verse 43. It says, many times did he deliver them, but they provoked him with their counsel, and were brought low for their iniquity. Nevertheless, he regarded their affliction when he heard their cry. And he remembered for them his covenant, and repented according to the multitude of his mercies. Yeah. You see, but why? Because of the promise that he promised Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob. If he didn't remember his covenant, then we'll all be done away with. You see? So it says, according to the multitude of his mercies, he made them also to be pitied of all those that carried them captives. One time period that comes to mind is during the time of Ezra and Nehemiah, when the Lord put the spirit upon, Cyrus, to allow us to go back to the land and rebuild the temple. And then later he put the spirit upon Artaxerxes, to allow us, during the time of Nehemiah, to rebuild the walls of the city. You see? And in these times, how the Lord causes us to be pitied. He made Esau. He put the spirit on Esau, to allow us to go out there to the highways and byways, exercise, our freedom of speech, and sing this new song. He made Esau do that. You see, because Esau's a devil. You think Esau in of himself, wanted us to do this? No. That goes to show you that we're all controlled. Proverbs 21:1. The king's heart is in the hand of the Lord. And as the rivers of the water, he turned it to flow wheresoever he will. So the Lord, made Esau, allow us, to upload, these live epistles up on the internet, go out to the highways and byways, and just like he made Cyrus, to allow us to rebuild the temple, man. You see? So let's read that again, verse 46. He made them also to be pitied of all those that carried them captives. Let's grab this in Jeremiah 15 real quick. Jeremiah 15 and 11. It says, the Lord said, Yahweh by Shemal Shah said, verily, it shall be well with thy remnant. Verily, I will cause the enemy. And who's the enemy? Esau. Verily, I will cause the enemy to entreat thee well in the time of evil and in the time of affliction. You see? So in the time of our slavery and in the time of this captivity, for the remnant's sake, for the elect's sake, the Lord, made Esau, pretty much, treat us with, particular, favors, or give us particular favors, all for the remnant's sake, for the elect's sake, to be sealed, to hear this word, you see, to fulfill prophecy, man. Ezekiel, the 37th chapter speaks about how, in the valley of the dry bones, He caused that breath to come into him by prophecy, man. How is that going to be possible, you know, in the land of our captivities, that the Lord didn't raise up prophets, for our people to, to be, given that breath again. So this is all, orchestrated by Yahweh, by Shema Shah, by his mercy. So going here, Psalms 106 and 47, save us, O Yahweh, by Shema Shah, our power, and gather us from among the heathen, to give thanks unto thy holy name, and to triumph in thy praise. That's right, man. See, and this shows right here, this one verse alone, okay, proves that salvation ain't for everybody. See, he says, gather us from among the heathen, not with the heathen. It ain't gonna be no Edomites getting caught up in the chariots, man. It ain't gonna be none of these other nations, okay, that's gonna be getting beamed up, okay, into the fathership along with the elected nation of Israel. No, man. The Lord's gonna gather us from among the heathen. Let's get that in Ezekiel 37 chapter real quick. Ezekiel 37 and 24. He says, so like that's 36. Ezekiel 37 and let's see. Nation. Yep, here we go. Ezekiel 37 and verse 21. He says, and say unto them, thus saith the Lord Yahweh by Shema Shah, behold, I will take the children of Israel from among the heathen, whither they be gone, and I will gather them on every side, and bring them into their own land. See, that's about to be fulfilled. That's about to be fulfilled, okay, to its utmost degree. But before we're gathered physically, okay, he's gathering us spiritually by his word. Then he's going to take us from among the heathen in the form of, once again, in the form of that fathership. Matthew the 24th chapter says he's going to come in the Father's glory, and he's going to gather together his elect from the four winds of the earth. So going here, let's finish it out. Last verse, Psalms 106 and 48. Blessed be the Lord Yahweh power of Israel, from everlasting to everlasting. And let all the people say, Amen. Praise ye Yahweh by Shema Shah. That's right, man. And we're going to be singing that new song, okay, once the Lord, beams us up. It was that Revelation, the 15th chapter. Speaks about how we're going to sing that song of Moses, as we look down upon Babylon the Great, being destroyed. So, yeah, man. So, that completes Psalms 106. Make sure. Yeah, that completes Psalms 106. Yeah, that's the point. Abaratazah, you Akim, Wa Akwa, we're edified. Let's see. Oh, yeah, it's all good, huh? Yeah, you didn't know. Hey, it's all good. Hey, Shalom. Hey, Shalom to all you, sincere Akim, Wa Akwa, that tuned in this morning. And until next time, I want to give all praises, honor, and glory unto Yahweh, by Hashem, Yahushua, by Hashem, HaKadosh. I want to give double honors to my beloved apostle, Elder Great Millstone, Wafla Babal, Shalom.